It's Madden NFL 24, and we'll get a look here at Josh Allen. You can't ask for much more than his last game, a 5-touchdown effort. It's the Bills and the Dolphins, and it's all up next.
Autumn has come to upstate New York. Fall colors abound, and we welcome you inside Highmark Stadium here in Orchard Park. Coming up, it's a rematch from last year's AFC wildcard round, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's 3-0 versus 2-1, a good early season battle as we're underway in Week 4. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Well, here come the Bills for their first possession, led out by their 27-year-old quarterback in year 6. It's Josh Allen.
And he's been playing at an elite level here in this early half of the season. Tops in the league in touchdown passes at this point. This is definitely a wide-open offense, so we'll see if he can keep his string of good games going right here.
Now a man in for an expanded role in 2023. It's James Cook. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 19 carries, 102 yards.
How about the first month of the season for him? He leads the league in rushing, so you know his confidence is at an all-time high, which means his offensive line loves it too. They'll get more opportunities to run block for him.
Ball on the 27. Here's second down at a yard. They'll try the wide side with Cook. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 16 yards there, and the Bills have a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Again, it's Cook. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. Second down. And here are the key inactives for them in this one. And obviously, Charles, are going to be without some important names this week.
Well, hopefully those guys will be on the sidelines, encouraging the guys who are going out there and helping them when they come off the sidelines during the game by giving them some tips on what they see and what they've experienced. That's true teamwork. And if you want to get to the playoffs, if you want to have a big push, you have to have that on your squad.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. You talk about this Miami defense. They were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
This defense has a lot to be proud of coming off of the game they played last week. When you only give up 14 points in a game, not only do you give your team a chance to win, you fully expect to win because you figure your offense is going to score more than that.
Throwing is Allen on third. Setting up the screen for Cook. He's across midfield. Oh, he faked him with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 34-yard line. And he goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 34. Back to the ground, Cook. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. The big man, get the oxygen. and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Whoa! It still won't go down. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. But James Cook and the Buffalo offense returning to work now. He's probably a little angry at himself. It was his fumble, obviously, a moment ago that led to the scoop and score touchdown that has him down early.
And now we find out about the psychology aspect of being a coach. Because when you have a guy that's just happened, some people want to take him out of the game immediately. Others say, you know something? Let's feed him the ball again next series and see if he's going to be able to atone for it. Let's see what they decide to do.
Jerome Baker there on the tackle. But you look at this defense. They enter play here 24th in the league against the run.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. This defense for the Dolphins, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
This defense certainly has a lot to be proud of coming off of last week's game, because when you only give up 14 points in a contest, you give your team a great chance to win. The best defense in the league is usually going to average giving up 18, 19 points a game. So to be under that, a terrific achievement.
Third down, here's a run by Cook, pushing his way inside the 40. And he's going to have a Bills first down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Throwing now is Allen. Rolling to his left. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Going deep for Diggs. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be two empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins set to go on offense for the first time behind their 25-year-old quarterback, now in his 4th NFL season, Tua Tagovailoa.
Injuries overshadowed a great season from Tua last season. He led a Miami passing game that was one of the best in the league, and even more importantly, took them to the postseason for the first time in 6 years. That jump they were looking for from him, it absolutely occurred.
Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Short throw hauled in by Croft. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And now Mostert is going to be stopped up short. He did not get there. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. And taken right on the 30. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Allen to throw it. Dancing to his left. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
On 1st down, Allen going deep for Diggs. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Bills had 2-1 now to start the campaign, and they moved back above 500 with a victory last week.
And you look at their start, a win, a loss, then a win. This might be something we see from...
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown! Stephon Diggs. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bills are an extra point away from evening this one up. It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big plays on a limited number of catches.
That's how you step on the stage with your first catch, take it to the house. So I'll leave it at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. 1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Once again, it's Mostert. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the 1st. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Now he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and a Bills touchdown. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick 6. And I think they had nickel. Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick 6.
Pass on for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So reception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback. Barrios deciding not to bring it out. Miami's offense set and ready to go. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their third possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
Tagovailoa trying again after the pick six. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Now the throw here to his running back. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. A yard all they need, but it's third down. A run with Mostert up the middle. Shedding the tackle, and now some room. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
On play action, here's Tua. Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
It's finally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. 2nd and 7 from the 20. Up the middle they go with Mostert. They'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Sanders on for the extra point. Oh, this is blocked. That's a live ball scooped up by the offense. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
Kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front, then they have the backups, right? He's the guy out front because the backups, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we're going to the headliner each and every time. And that's not easily done because, you know, all the defenses are kicking towards him right now. That means he's fighting his way through traffic, finding ways to get open, even when he's not supposed to be.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. Allen looks to throw on 2nd down. Look at the big man rumble. And he's going to get this to the 40-yard line. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
Kincaid was drafted as a tight end. Many thought he was the best in his class. But plays like that remind you his position should really just read pass catcher. He's someone who gets it done lined up off the tackle or out wide.
Throwing on first down is Allen. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. And he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. They work now on 2nd and 9. Left side, Cook. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you've got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage. And that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on 3rd down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a first down.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. Oh, and that is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
On 2nd down, Cook. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium, because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take a
wild throw there, and it is intercepted. Nick Needham picks it off. And the Dolphins are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw complete there to Moore. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a 1-point game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as we say goodbye to September and take a look around the NFL here on this first day of October. We'll begin up at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. And they have just about gone to halftime with the Panthers out on top. The rookie #1 overall pick, Bryce Young, with a touchdown pass there. From there, we'll jet north to Ohio to check in on the Browns at home at Cleveland Browns Stadium. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. 2 touchdown passes there for Lamar Jackson. Lastly, let's get to the Windy City, see what's happening with the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And that one's gone to the half with the visiting Broncos on top. 2 touchdown passes there for Russell Wilson. The Bills got a terrific first half from the man on the cover, quarterback Josh Allen. He had a touchdown pass in that first half, helping his guys to a halftime advantage.
final adjustments being made for the second half. So with that, we get you back up to Orchard Park and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
I respect both sides on that play, CD. For him to be able to hold on to that football and the impressive tackle, wow.
Did you notice the look between the two of them as they came off the ground? That look did say the word respect.
Tagovailoa to throw on second down here. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And Hill is going to have the Dolphins first down as the tackle going to be made up at the 37. They hand it off to Mostert. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about...
Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. Still going. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. Following the interception, they're set up nicely here, already inside the red zone, knocking on the door, if you will. 1st and 10. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points?
Touchdown, Bills! Stephon Diggs. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Bills are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Tyler Bass now for the point after. And with that, the lead is up to 8. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way. And really, we shouldn't be be surprised, shouldn't we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Under pressure, and they get to it again. Von Miller coming in to drop it for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Von Miller still rushing the passer at an elite level well into his 30s. Only 11 games last year, already in the top 20 all-time in sacks, and could make a run at the top 10 this season with more plays like that.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. It's taken to the 26. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll push ahead for about 3 to the 36.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Bills first down, and he was able to get it by play. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3. Final minute now in the 3rd quarter. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. He's got this one complete to Sherfield. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. It's a gain of 13 and a Buffalo first down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, particularly running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
We're in the 3rd quarter in upstate New York with a 2nd and 10. Cook up the gut. And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 34. 75 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo from the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. It's the Bills with a lead and the football here to begin the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, Allen's throw taken in by Diggs. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Allen now looks to throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Jerome Baker. And the Dolphins are right back in this football game. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
After the turnover, it's Tua. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. On the handoff, this is Mostert. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
8-yard pickup. And the Dolphin first down.
Here's Tua. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Some coaches like to take the shorter, more reliable yardage, and some, they like to go for the big shot. No fear in risking a deep ball there, but it wasn't enough to get him the completion.
He's going to get this one out to his fullback. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Tua once again here on 2nd and 10. Oh, no, he lost the football. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
This drive didn't end well, but if they can keep stringing these together, they'll like what they're doing. That was an 8-play drive before it ended in a fumble. So the takeaway's got to be doing what we want to do and doing it well. Just got to take care of the ball at the end.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They'll be hoping to work a little clock and try to add on to this slim fourth quarter lead. But whatever happens on this drive, certainly a huge fumble recovery by their defense at this juncture. It'll be a minimum pickup, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Back to the ground. This time Cook. Ooh, the juke. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Try to take this home. They'll run. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. Running for it, here's Cook. And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. No dice for Sean McDermott in the offense. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Here's Tua. That'll be caught by Hill. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
A 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Down to their final play. They've got to get in the end zone. That's part 1. Part 2, the 2-point conversion.
32-point conversion right out of their mind. That's what they have to do. What you said is accurate. In the end zone, have to score a touchdown.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line. He's sacked. So it's a victory here for the Buffalo Bills. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half, the adjustment. Whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the 2nd half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Buffalo, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll get another home date next week as the Jaguars will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they're going to fall to 3-1 as they suffer their first loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.